You know, as I sat down to put a presentation together, I was pretty much at a loss for words. My wife Carol said, "Well, that's a rare thing."
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I don't hear it.
But I thought, well, why am I doing this? Do I really want to get up and ask people to give money to the church? Then I thought, no, I don't. I want to ask them why. Why Overbrook? What's at our core? Why do we do what we do? I thought of Steve's fellowship group. And we talked. We had many discussions about successful people and corporations and the whys and whats and how they did the things they did. And it always came back to the whys that was the basic. So that's what's the bottom. So I was looking for some words. Well, there they were. Lo and behold, we pasted on the wall and categorized all the whys and the hows and the whats we do here at Overbrook Church. But I focused on the whys. Connection to each other. Closer to God. Connection to God. Relevant. Compassion. Honor. Acceptance. And sharing God's love. That helped, but it didn't provide the whole answer. It didn't tell me why exactly. So I grabbed the church's mission statement and I began to read. We are a community of God's people. I stopped right there. Is that why we're here? Is that why we do what we do in the context of this church? That's part of it. And then one of the challenges in Steve's group was to put the words and the whys into kind of a statement about the church and why we do what we do. So I gave that a shot, see what I could come up with. And here's where we went. We are a community of God's people, exploring our connection to God and getting closer to God through our connection with each other, practicing compassion, honor, and acceptance as relevant ways of showing God's love. Not bad, I thought. It was kind of satisfying to put that together from the group conversation that we had. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about your own whys with regard to this church. Why do we do what we do? Why do you do what you do?
So why are we a part of the church? We are part of the church because that's why we're created. That's why we're here, to participate with God in God's work. And we are here in this church because God has called us here. And so we have really I don't want to say we have no choice. We have lots of choices. We don't have to do this. But how can we say no to God who has been so good to us and blessed us with so much and has redeemed us from all of the sin and evil of the world and made us into God's own children? How can we be anything other than participants in the work that God is doing in the world?
Then I thought, well, we are the church. The members are the church. Member participation and engagement is what runs this church. That's how we explore the opportunities and we see them fulfilled. Well, at this brunch out here, we have a lot of folks that have given generously of their time and their talents and their treasures. And we're not pursuing those who have given so generously to give more, although that'd be nice. What we're asking is more to participate. This church is limited only by the people engaged in the life of the church and the funds that we have available. We all need to reach out and to invite others to participate. Our friends, our kids, our families, and the other members of the church. How do we do this? By connecting. By connecting. Connecting with others, greeting and talking and sharing with others, not just a close-knit group, but with the newcomers, with people we don't know or we barely know. Even some are scary to us. We need to reach out and show compassion and love and acceptance is by visiting and interacting with the community here in our church and out beyond the borders of our church. We need to encourage all to participate by example and by invitation. So, where does the money come into this picture? Well, the church does have monetary commitments and responsibilities to meet needs of our members, the pastors that we've called, the staff we employ. We need to take care of the building. We need to support the programs that we have going on. And we need to support the mission outreach that we've committed to outside the walls of this church.
Hi, I'm Connie Jump, the coordinator for the YWCA Family Center for the Overbrook Presbyterian Church, this church. And I want to take a few minutes to tell you about the wonderful center that opened 7 years ago on East 5th Avenue. It is a YWCA family center, so that means that only people with children can go there and reside there. And the way that it works is in Columbus that no one will ever be turned down if you have a child. This provides a huge safety net for children in our community. Every night, a different organization or church serves the evening meal to these families. And we chose, a long time ago, the second Sunday of every month. We serve what I like to call a Sunday supper. And it is made up of donations from people at the church, and the donation sheet, the sign-up sheets are behind me. Plus, we purchased a huge portion of the main course and the supplies that go with feeding this amount of people. It is very important that you know that your donations to the church are used in a very effective way. We spend, so far this year, we have spent $2,300 and fed over 1,600 people. That brings the total to $1.44 a person. I am so proud that every month after month, the sign-up sheets are all filled up, and we provide a very adequate, well-balanced meal for these families. It is important that you know that your donations never go unused and are used very wisely. So thank you, Overbrook, for making this mission possible.
We can only plan to do those things, to meet those needs, if we have the commitment of our members. We plan through a budgeting process, and session approves that. We can't just pull a number out of the air or out of the blue. There has to be something to base that on, and that's called anticipated revenue. And that's the results of the stewardship campaign. The church has really been in survival mode for the past few years. We've been using best guesses to plan new things and to move the church into the future. We have had the support of the development piece of the capital campaign fund, but that's drying up. We've gone through some hard economic times in a difficult period of transition. But thanks to reining in our expenses, the generosity of our members, and especially the grace of God, we've survived. We're now in a new time and place in the life of this church, a renewal for pastoral leadership, an improving economy, an opportunity for our members to renew their commitments to this church and to lead us into the future. So, what are we going to do in the next year? Well, that'll truly be determined by everyone, all of our members, those who participate, and especially those who don't. We have all the planned fellowship and education festivities and activities that are going on, and there's a quest out for more, and we need that. We have all the planned events of the church. But what we really, really need most is your ideas, your participation and engagement, and your financial support so that we can move forward. Let us all respond to this year's campaign in a meaningful way and as best we can, so that we have a basis for exploring and embracing the opportunities that God put before us, and a chance of fulfilling the renewal of this church. Remember, we don't give because the church has needs. We give because the church meets needs. I'm Mike Johnson, and I approve this message.